What's up viewers, and welcome back to TV Box Top. Today I feature one of the big guns for 2024 in the TV box industry, and with this latest release, it rivals models such as the UPSCALING, the UPSCALING AM8 and the Xidu Z9X8K, presenting the MINIX U8K Ultra featuring the penta-core Amlogic S928X-K CPU, 8GB of DDR4 RAM, 128GB of internal storage, AI, NPU upscaling, 8K display, Wi-Fi 6 technology, and Google Widevine L1. This latest release by MINIX is poised to be one of the best, if not the best Android box for 2024. And to find out if it is, stay tuned. My full review is up next. So I'm back and let's get started. In the box, these are the contents, and these include the U8K model itself, a fabulous looking Bluetooth remote and a mini keyboard combo, and this has to be the best remote out of the latest models. You get one HDMI cable, one OTG cable, and I know customers will be very pleased with this addition. You get a 15 volts 2 amps DC power adapter with EU and UK connector plug types, and a user manual. So its design consists of a plastic outer shell with the MINIX branding at the top. For I/O, at the back it comes with one HDMI 2.1 port, 1 gigabit Ethernet LAN port, one optical audio, a headphone jack, and a 12 volt USB Type-C power delivery port. For external storage to its left, it has one USB 3.0, and this is your OTG port also, a USB 2.0, a micro SD card reader, a reset button, and its power button. On the opposite side has a Kensington lock and ventilation holes. At the front has an IR sensor and a simple power LED light, and to its base has 4 anti-skid rubber feet with no ventilation holes. On the first startup, you have a simple MINIX animation, then you're taken directly to the launcher with no startup wizard. So this is the MINIX launcher, and it's called MINIX Metro. It features main category icons where you can create shortcuts under each category, and it also comes with a shortcuts bar here at the bottom. It has a date and time widget and easy access to your file browser, Google Play Store and other APK stores, its apps section, and a one-click task killer button. It's running the mobile version of Android, so you have a navigation bar and full status bar. For standard firmware features, you get 8K display, but when connected to My 4K TV, you get up to 4K 2160p up to 59.94 Hz. You get up to 12-bit color space, adaptive HDR display, Dolby Vision with the option to choose between Dolby Vision and HDR10 depending on the features of your TV. You get HDMI CEC options, and surround sound audio options with audio pass-through feature. For unique firmware features, under the settings called MINIX settings, you get an OTG switch to enable or disable the OTG feature. You have a switch for the LED light on top of the box for the MINIX logo. You can enable or disable the navigation bar and status bar. You can enable a feature called Fake Wi-Fi. This feature allows you to run apps that will not run if you don't have Wi-Fi. Also, if you are connected via LAN cable, some apps may also refuse to run. You can solve this problem with this Fake Wi-Fi feature. You can set Wi-Fi priority, meaning if you have Wi-Fi and Ethernet LAN cable connected simultaneously, the box will default to the Wi-Fi signal first. You get power key definition options. You have picture mode options, and under the section you can enable AI upscaling. Once this is enabled, you have another section called AI PQ. In this section, you can enable AI picture quality, show the AI upscaling information. You can enable AI super resolution quality, and you can also view the super resolution information. You have another option called AI face and AI level options. If you want to access the core Android settings, you have an option called More Settings. Missing from this firmware is built-in screen rotation, a root switch, and Samba server feature. Out of the box, the remote is already paired to the box via Bluetooth. If it's not connected, it will still work via infrared. To pair the remote, simply press and hold the left and right buttons on the direction pad until the green LED starts flashing. Then navigate to the Bluetooth settings to pair to it. This model is called the MINIX A3 Pro, and with it you get a mouse feature, a full QWERTY keyboard, and Google Voice Search and Voice Commands feature. What's the fastest car in the world?
Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute. According to Autoblog, the fastest car in the world is Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute. That title goes to the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute.
So let's now have a look at its system and hardware information. So this S928X mainboard was manufactured using the Amlogic chipset with 8GB of DDR4 RAM and 128GB of internal storage, with its Bluetooth version being 5.2. Its processing power is run by the penta-core Amlogic S928X-K processor consisting of a quad-core Cortex A55 running at 2.0 GHz and a single-core Cortex A76 running at 1.89 GHz at a maximum CPU clock speed of 2.0 GHz configured in 32-bit mode. And again, we are being denied 64-bit architecture with its latest models. Whether it's a technical issue or a marketing strategy, I'm yet to get an explanation why these boxes are configured in 32-bit mode only. For display, it shows that the UI's resolution is 3840 by 2160p and it's powered by the Mali G57 MC2 GPU with OpenGLES version 3.2 support. This means this box plays YouTube videos without being cropped into a 1080p frame, and is also very good for Android gaming. Its network adapter provides dual band Wi-Fi 6 2.4 GHz plus 5 GHz AX Wi-Fi technology. Its Android version is Android 11 and it's not rooted. Its GPU has Vulkan support API version 1.1. Its idle operating temperature is 49 degrees Celsius. And for audio and video decoders, it comes with HEVC, VP9, AV1, and Dolby Vision for 4K and 8K video playback. And for surround audio, it comes with a Dolby Atmos EAC3, AC4, and DTS HD. And that right there is your system and hardware information. As mentioned in the intro, it has Google certification on the mobile version of Android, providing Widevine Level 1 with HDCP 2.3 protection, and the firmware is not rooted as shown here by the Root Checker app. This will allow certain movie streaming platforms that do not require an additional certification to stream their movies in HD and 4K on this box. It does not come with an official Netflix ESN license, but if you are paying for an HD subscription, you can get at least HD 1080p using a modified version of the app. This modified version requires Google Widevine Level 1 plus HDCP 2.3 HDMI signal encryption for it to work. If you would like to get your hands on this modified version, simply send me an email request at tvboxstop@gmail.com.
But you're going to die on this speck of dust. I can think of no better place to bury you.
For watching YouTube videos, you can install any version you want. These include the mobile version, the Android TV version, and the smart YouTube TV version. All three versions play videos in 4K 2160p at 60Hz with HDR and in full 4K resolution without being cropped into a 1080p frame like in other models. For mobile screencasting, it comes with the official Miracast app and license that can cast Android mobile devices in HD 1080p quality. However, when I tried to cast my Android cell phone, it failed to connect to the box. So as an alternative, I used the AirScreen app instead, but you don't get HD 1080p with this app. For those who use vertical monitors and digital signage, you can use vertical portrait mode display by simply installing a screen rotation app. For customizing your launcher with alternative launchers and custom icons, you can use any alternative launcher as well as live wallpapers. With 4K video playback and AI upscaling, this is where things get a bit interesting. For self-hosted videos, that is videos you have stored on flash drives and external hard drives, you get 4K HDR10, HLG, AV1 and Dolby Vision. When you set the HDR priority to HDR, the Dolby Vision feature is disabled. And when you set it to Dolby Vision, that feature supersedes the HDR feature. If your TV does not support Dolby Vision, that feature will not be available for selection. So here I'm connected to my Dolby Vision TV, and when I switch to HDR, I'm getting HDR10 with this video. This is an AV1 video and you also get HDR10. If I switch to Dolby Vision, you get the Dolby Vision feature triggering with this video. Here is another Dolby Vision video that's encoded with Dolby Atmos and it works. And if I switch back to Adaptive HDR and play this video, you get HLG. Also, with AI upscaling, you can upscale self-hosted videos to 4K quality.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
War is a universal language. I know a renegade soldier when I see one. Never occurred to me that one might come from above.
Also, with AI upscaling, you can upscale self-hosted 1080p videos to 4K quality. And most interesting is that AI super resolution works with your popular movie subscription services, including the modified version I used in this video. For surround sound audio, this box comes fully equipped with the right decoders to play all surround sound audio formats. For surround sound audio to output properly, you must enable surround sound audio pass-through in the audio settings area. So this is Dolby Atmos.
10-point accuracy.
This is Dolby Digital Plus.
Full extent
Do you want to know my secret?
of nature's fury.
This is DTS HD Master Audio. This is Dolby Surround. This is Dolby True HD.
channel. Over here is the right channel.
And this is DTS-X. If you are a user of CoreElec, MINIX has proactively sent their SoC to the CoreElec developers, and they have already released the DTB for the U8K Ultra, and you will find it in the device tree folder in your installation disk. You can use an SD card, a regular flash drive, SSD enclosure, or an external hard drive for the installation. Simply copy the DTB file to the main directory and rename it to dtb.img. I have now booted into CoreElec and all features are working, such as Wi-Fi, Ethernet LAN, and Bluetooth. However, the stock remote does not work even while it's connected successfully via Bluetooth, so you will have to connect either an alternative remote or a keyboard and mouse. For Android gaming, it does a fantastic job rendering high graphics. However, when it comes to Android gaming on an Android box, it usually requires a gamepad keymapping app. Because the box is not rooted, unlike the SK1 that has root access with a root switch, you cannot run popular gamepad keymapping apps such as the Panda Mouse Pro and the Panda Gamepad Pro. So due to this, you are restricted to what you can play. However, games that are gamepad ready play without issues on the highest graphics settings without overheating. So for measuring its performance, let's have a look at some benchmarks and where it places on my rankings chart. First, the results of its RAM copy speed and internal storage read and write speeds. It shows that it has a RAM copy speed of 17,402 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 142 megabytes per second and a write speed of 119. In testing the speeds of its Wi-Fi 6 network adapter and its gigabit LAN port, the results show that based on my internet speed of 315 megabits per second, its 5 GHz band and its gigabit LAN port achieved the maximum speed of my network. Its 2.4 GHz band, though a little slower, still very high, averaging around 133 megabits per second. In benchmarking, the performance of its Amlogic S928X-K penta-core CPU, single-core and multi-core threading performance, the Geekbench 5 CPU benchmark produced a score of 407 single-core and 743 multi-core. In benchmarking, the performance of its Mali G57 MC2 GPU with Vulkan support, in the 3D Marker Gamers benchmark, it qualified for the wildlife test and it produced a score of 1003 with an average FPS of 6.01. And finally, in the comprehensive Antutu benchmark version 10, it generated a score of 294,262. So with these benchmarks, let's now see where it ranks on my TV box rank chart. So with these benchmarks updated on my rankings chart, the latest MINIX U8K Ultra ranks at position number 7 based on its Antutu benchmark score. So it slightly outperformed the Zidu Z9X 8K, but fell just below the Ugoos SK1, AM8 and the AM8 Pro. So if you would like to compare its benchmarks and features, I placed a link to this chart in the description below this video. This chart can come in very handy when deciding which is the best TV box to purchase based on hardware performance and features. So see the link in the description. In summary, The MINIX U8K Ultra is another great high-performance Amlogic S928X-K model, and it joins the ranks of the UPSCALING, the AM8 and the Xido Z9X8K. What makes it different is that by providing Widevine Level 1 with HDCP protection, they had to sacrifice root access, which limits what you can do in terms of Android gaming. Other than that, this is one of the best Android boxes you can buy in 2024. So if you are interested, it's currently being sold on Amazon for $259 with a $40 coupon, so see the link in the description to take advantage. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up. Special thanks to MINIX for sponsoring today's video. If you are watching one of my videos for the first time, then click the subscribe button and the notifications bell to receive notifications about open box deals, new video releases, and possible giveaways. Thanks for watching, stay connected, and see you in the next one.